So here I am on State Route 3030 again by this little feeder stream. I think we have some video footage of this during the flood. This was all during Hurricane Ida. This was all, this wasn't underwater, but there was certainly a lot of over there that was all underwater. So we're going to take a look at the Pawpaw patch. My landlady says that she was just down here and she thinks that it's too crowded, too many trees that are creating too shady a spot. She's been reading in the paper about pawpaws being ripe, and ours are very small and unripe, and so she is impatient to have pawpaws and she wants them to be big. And I want to see what the situation is, because these particular patches sometimes do not have fully ripe pawpaws until about the week of Halloween, which is still a month and a half away. So there's a lot of time yet for the development of pawpaws, I think. Anyway, I think that she went in to the patch, and if she was indeed looking at the same set of pawpaws that I'm looking at, is down here, but it's very difficult to get to from here. She does not mind going through the neighbor's property to get to her own, whereas I prefer to stay on the public road and to go onto her property through her property. So that's going to give us a little different perspective on everything. Now these are some really beautiful pawpaw trees in terms of size. These are big ones out here. Here's one, and here's another one, and here's one, and those are very respectable size of pawpaws. And she said, oh well, you know, when we first came here, there's another one. When we first came here, there were only about 2, and now there are a whole lot that are down there, and they're all very crowded, and they don't have any fruit because they're all very crowded. And I think that they may not have a lot of fruit because it's early in the season, and a lot of them are very young trees. And in my experience, pawpaws bear more heavily as they get older. Now, I haven't been down this way for a long time, and this used to be a very popular track with the deer. It seems a little overgrown, even for a deer path. This is not the way I think that the landlady would prefer to go, but this is a pawpaw, but it's young. These are all very young. These are really, some of them are only a few years old. And there seems to be a kind of a cult of the pawpaw amongst some people around here, and they seem to be, you know, sort of Johnny Pawpaw seed, taking pawpaw seeds and chucking them in likely places, but it may not be humans. I'm not really sure. But these trees, these again, these are Asimina triloba. Okay, but they are too young to be for us to really expect to see any fruit from them. But here are a bunch more. See, but these look to me as though they are clones all coming out of a root, or perhaps a fallen trunk that got buried and now is growing up. That is one of the behaviors of this particular plant. Now the Dryoptera. Anyway, either of these paths will take us to our goal. High road. See how things go. I did a video walking along this path before, so long-time watchers will possibly remember. It almost looks like these trees may already have fruited and are done. I don't really know what condition, how things were this year. But these are some bigger trees and they do typically fruit. I don't see any fruit on these trees. So it's also well within the range of possibility that this was an early year and we missed it entirely. Oh no, there's some fruit. Okay, there we go. See if we can possibly get this thing to focus. Yeah. There's one. There's just one over there. There's another one. Another couple up here. So, oh, there are some. Believe me, there are some there. Yeah, there we go. So, there are some. I just don't think it was a good year for Pawpaw. There's one. There's another one up here. But they're all young. They're all, young. The fruit are young. The fruit are not very developed. And these understory ones, I think these are fine. I don't think they're suffering because of being in the dark. There's a nice cluster, but it's not far developed yet. Oops. I meant to go the other way. Sorry about that. Okay. So, this is a nice little grove. It's like entirely composed of pawpaws and wild ginger. Pawpaws. And a few other things. A little hedge garlic. Oh, I heard one. Oh, there's some very respectable size trees down here, but the downside of a respectable size tree is that its fruit are up higher. Here's one. No, what's this? Oh, these are walnuts. I wanted a pawpaw and I got a walnut. Yeah, you can see flood gook, flood mess all through here. Yep. Oh. So it's very interesting to me. These plants, you know, are adapted to a flood environment, because when they get knocked over like this, they will potentially, at any rate, sprout. And I think that that's the origin, in fact, of a lot of these trees, as I was saying up above. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of fruit. There's some. And the drop that I heard, given the situation of these fruits, the degree of ripeness of these fruits, I think I can say with assurance that the thump that I heard was a walnut falling and not a pawpaw, because they are still firmly attached. They are not ripe enough to drop. So we'll give them at least a couple more weeks, and we're not at anything like a flood stage here, but the water is still pretty high. It's nice. Alright, so there's the Conestoga, and here are our pawpaws, and I'm gonna clean up some of this flood mess and see ya later.